You're tuned in to RX Radio.
All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode of RX Radio with the intro, special intro with Dr. Jordan Genta in the house.
Glad to be here.
Special episode today. The Lee brothers, Braedon, spelled in the most ass backwards Braedon way to spell Braedon. Braedon, Tyler, Tristyn struck it big with Tristyn's crazy physique at such a young age. So Tristyn Lee is, what is the right word he's just shredded. He's shredded professionally. He's professionally in shape.
Yeah.
Crazy influential YouTube and Instagram presence. And honestly, with the three of them, been familiar of them, knowing they were Canadian for some, or knowing they were Canadian, knowing of them for some time, I'm reluctant of like new age social media workout people. Because it's like there's so much external incentive to do it now that there wasn't that when we were kids or when we got into lifting weights, but there's probably no more motivated, internally driven, dedicated kids to training, than these three guys. Like they first caught my attention when I was in here super early in the morning. I mean, obviously I knew of them from social media. But Tristyn, the youngest, who's now 19 years old, who started this when his first viral video, and we'll talk about this in the episode, went viral for him training when he was like 14 years old.
Wow.
Crazy, because like I didn't work out at 14 years old, have a cell phone at 14 years old, had a camera that wasn't directly into a VHS tape at 14 years old. But for kids who grew up indoctrinated into social media and fitness and not knowing kind of a life between, their dedication to the actual craft of training is admirable, especially with now as their platform has grown so much. And you'll see that in the episode. Like they are the antidote to like the fuckboy fitness generation, and they're right in the belly of the beast. So it was really cool to talk to them about coming up especially as a family, the three of them in like a social media fitness age. But because like I think I would be the biggest douche. I think if I had that many eyeballs and I was that shredded at 19 years old, I'd be such a fuck.
Yeah.
And these guys are making it happen. So cool episode. Make sure, you guys, if you follow me, you definitely follow them. But Braedon, Tyler, Tristyn, YouTube, and on Instagram. And I think they were doing TikTok as well, as we talk about in the episode. Really insightful, because it's like I have to look to guys like this to understand how to navigate platforms. So they talk a lot about like their mindset on content creation around those three platforms. Like I look at TikTok and I'm like, I'm certainly too old for this. Like I can't be here. Like it's like going to a nightclub. That's what TikTok is to me. It's like if I went to a nightclub now, I'd be like, please put clothes on. Like you're someone's daughter. Like don't do that. But no, they had a really kind of a cerebral, thoughtful approach to like social media and fitness. And it seemed like it started with it does seem, it is the case that it starts with like the actual workout first, right? They don't like the inconvenience of cameras, but they like the message that they bring. So guys, do check it out. Check them out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Tristyn Lee, Braedon Lee, Tyler Lee. Where are we at this week? Prescript level 1 is now currently up for sale. So 16 weeks applied biomechanic functional anatomy course taught by this guy, with lab sections running every week. Jay runs a lab, James McIntosh, James Thayer, Killian Hamilton, Eric Bougere, Kyle Baxter. So we have all the tools in place, plus the prescript level 1 manual, help go along with the course. NSCA and NASM certified for continuing education hours. So space is going to be limited for this upcoming level 1 semester. So head over to pre-script.com/PSL1 to register, secure your spot for next semester. That's it, guys. Do enjoy the episode. We'll see you guys next week. But yeah, we talked about, going like big cross-platform seems to be difficult. Like people who do well.
Cross-platform with what? Spotify, YouTube, or
anything. Like, is this rolling? All right, we'll just fucking cut an intro over this. But like people who are big on Instagram who struggle to get big on YouTube, or people who like, it's like essentially product market fit, right? Like these guys do really big on like Libsyn or podcasting, Spotify, Apple, or iTunes, Apple Play Store, Google Play Store, whatever. but can't seem to gain traction.
Different attention spans.
Is that
And
what it
different
is?
audiences. Like, for example, TikTok has the shortest attention span of any platform. And then Instagram, you find it in between. Facebook, you get people who are like just looking for viral content and scrolling through. And then you also get like an older generation. But YouTube and podcasting is like completely different than that short form content. And YouTube's even shifting to short form content. Like, you see the vloggers who do like 4-minute videos and they're pulling 10 million views. And then you see someone who's doing more like podcast style, and you just draw a different audience. But YouTube's so broad spread that it kind of just, whatever you build your audience based off of, that's what draws.
There's also shorts, right, which are blowing up a lot.
Yeah.
But then you can see the difference in community that you build with the long-term content, like the longer.
You just don't get that personal connection. It's like you're saying, if you talk for an hour and a half and someone's able to listen to you for an hour and a half, then you're building some sort of connection there. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know, but you're building a connection with that audience. So,
do you guys pay attention to that, like on your own channel? Like, do you pay attention to like dropout times and watch times and things like that?
Somewhat, but we've kind of just done like what we want to do. You know what I mean? We create the content we want to create, and then you build the following you want to build.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like catering to a specific audience or anything like that. But
so even from a content creation perspective, you guys don't look at like, okay, we did a lot on like food thing is always weird to me.
Yeah.
Like the day of because you've done one recently, right?
Yeah, I did one in 5 minutes, and then I cut that down to a minute on Shorts or TikTok and stuff, and that blew up on there because people love like just fast pace, get in, get out, and then
it seems like they like the like mundane things, like the things that you wouldn't think are interesting, right? And then a lot of times like we'll do stuff like exercise related, and then it'll be like an insane thumbnail, like blood flow restriction, like people love
giant
shit
sets,
like that. It's like
high intensity techniques, different shit.
Really?
Yeah. But it's totally random, to be honest. What we find interesting, we create. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then we just keep flowing content out, you know?
Okay, so you guys don't go like, hey, this is really like trending or popular. It's like, this might work, it might not.
I think it's tough to chase trends. You know what I mean? Like, it's constantly changing. So,
well, then another thing we talked about is like, you know, like your audience may demand something from you, and then if you give it to them, sometimes they're just controlling everything you do. You know what I mean? You can't produce what you want to produce, and then you can just like, they're like, do this or do this challenge, or I ate 10,000 calories, and then we told, like, in conversations between all of us, we're like, we're not going to do that.
I mean, that's a whole game of jump, and then they like how high, right?
And you can see YouTubers too, like over a long period of time, when there's one audience that wants something, and you give it to them, and you keep doing that over and over again. Eventually, the old audience that followed you for your old content is going to be like, we want the old person back. There's
no pleasing everybody.
It's
like you either build a general audience or you build a loyal fan base around one thing that you created. So it's like, if you can continue to develop what you genuinely love to do, then you're going to draw that audience and continue to grow like a loyal following, rather than just some bullshit viral video that's going to draw in a bunch of people, but really you have no relationship with that audience. You know?
Have you guys, is there an instance that comes to mind where you guys have maybe done something on request that after you posted it, like, fuck, that sucked?
Probably the most challenge based or like YouTube trend kind of based thing is the 1,000 rep challenges we've done, right? We haven't done any calorie challenges or anything like that, just because fitness, I'm like, fuck that, I don't want to do any calorie challenges or anything. But even the 1,000 rep challenges, sometimes I'm like, I kind of want to try that.
So explain that. I don't know. Like, YouTube is it's the elephant graveyard of social media. It's like everything the light touches is yours, except there. Don't fucking go there. Like, the YouTube comment section scares the shit out of me.
I don't even read them anymore.
Really?
Yeah,
was there a time where you did?
No.
Okay. So
I've never read comment. I mean, I scroll through every once in a while, and oftentimes like these guys will come to me and they say this comment's hilarious. It's like when they're shitting on me or something.
Okay.
But other than that, it's pretty much just stick to what I love to do, and then I'll respond to some comments here and there and stuff, you know, the first little bit once I post a video. But other than that, I'm pretty focused on just.
So explain the 1,000 rep challenge to me.
Oh, so we just did that for ourselves. We're like, okay, so let's go pick a muscle group. So I did legs and then I did arms, and you have to hit 1,000 reps, and we did 5 sets of 20 for 10 exercises. It's the most like bullshit. It's like it's the most bullshit volume workout ever. There's no purpose for it for muscle growth at all, right? Like, it's not beneficial. But we're like, let's just try it and see if it works. So we did an arm day challenge, and that did pretty well. And then we did the leg day challenge. But afterwards, you're just like the leg day challenge, I went into a depression, I swear. I went into a slope because I was training. That workout was 3 hours long, and it was just stupid. It was ridiculous.
I mean, if we could, we'd just literally film training one muscle group, like insane chest day
Yeah.
every single time, which does pretty well. But then at a certain point, you just get bored of it. It's
Like, we
just
get bored of it. It's not just like the audience. We get bored of putting the same. We're like, who wants to watch the same thing over and over again for a 45-minute workout? Just same thing every week.
But if
You
it
know-
was,
you
if
know
it
what
was up
that's
to us,
like.
we wouldn't say anything in the whole workout and literally just film working
But we
out.
talked to you about this. You do the same exercises a lot of the time, right? Like
Yeah.
you just go in, same 4 or 5 exercises. Don't really care about like it is you do think about it, but it's not really anything crazy. You're not trying to spice up your workout just for the sake of it on Instagram or YouTube or whatever it is, right? You just go in and focus on your training. So we're not really ones to jump out and do all these viral guru exercises or any of that shit.
But it's crazy because you guys are so young. Like, okay, question. What was your first social media platform?
Instagram, right? It would have been Instagram.
Yeah.
So you guys,
Actually, yeah.
And when we first started, it was like actually like we were all participating in it more. Like it was kind of like there were some circulating clips of me, you, and Tyler.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pictures and
I
stuff.
think it was Artemis. You know Artemis. What's his name?
Dolgan.
No.
No.
I don't. You guys are the only people on YouTube, as far as I'm concerned. There's no one else outside of you.
I think he's more of a
Okay, it's good to know.
Instagram guy,
Yeah, I
right?
think he's more Instagram, but he's did like a whole brand around like golden aesthetics and things like that.
I
But
hate him.
Have you heard of Louis
I
Marco?
fucking hate him. No, I fucking hate him too.
Do you know him
Who are
though?
you?
No, who?
Louis Marco.
So
No,
you just
it's
hate
literally
anyone you don't
just-
know.
He
It's
was like the
literally no.
original-
It's YouTube,
Can we
dog.
know
Like
Nick
you
Strength
guys.
and Power, right?
No,
No?
dude. I'm telling you, like YouTube to me is like I don't. Other than, and the thing is, you guys have set such a high bar because it's like, oh, you guys actually fuck with training.
Yeah.
Like when I walked in here and I saw you guys, I'm like, for fuck, God,
Influencers.
like literally thought, fuck, boys. And then I watched you guys train. I'm like, yo, these guys are getting after it. And like there was a camera involved, but it was just like, okay, camera, throw the camera in the gym bag. I think I saw you just physically take the camera and just like just throw a $3,000 camera into the gym bag. Like, okay, it's my set now. I don't know. So pick it up if you want.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute.
You should see the anger that stirs up between us when we're not going fast because we're trying to film a video and we're not going fast enough between our sets to like maintain a good solid workout. So we're literally fighting with each other because we're like, this video is taking too long. Let's get to our next set.
We go cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Muscles go cold, and then you start feeling tired, and you're just like, okay, fuck this. And then by the end of it, we're all arguing and shit, and it's just.
But do you find that rare for your generation? Like, because I grew up on, like, we had MySpace, and then it evolved to Facebook. But fitness on the internet wasn't a thing.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't really a thing until Instagram hit. And then, like, early days fitness YouTube, where it was, like, Scooby and fucking Omar. And that was it.
I think it's different for us because we didn't start doing social media for that purpose. Like we didn't start so that we can make videos for other people. We started doing it because we love bodybuilding. We started pushing each other, sending each other articles, videos like on how to improve our training and nutrition and everything. And then from there, he did a guest posing. A guy named Chris Wong invited him to do a guest posing at his show, and Tristyn started posting on Instagram just like what we saw other bodybuilders doing. I'm 20 weeks out, I'm 4 weeks out, whatever. And he started documenting that. And then we just started showing raw training. He didn't talk for what, the first year?
Well,
Well,
I
the
didn't
fir-
say a word.
Come on.
And then I came out as 16-year-old Tristyn Lee.
and he's still it today.
Still is today. But I didn't say a word for the first year, basically, of my videos. It was literally just me training.
Well, to be fair, the first video you posted on Instagram wasn't even like you didn't take the video.
No.
Like you
My
didn't
friend,
even know.
I
you were
didn't even
being
know I
filmed.
was being filmed. So that's how like self-absorbed I was at the time. I was so focused on looking in the mirror at I was like video me curling a 5-pound dumbbell, right? And this is the shit like we were
And
talking
people
about.
were talking
People were
so
talking
much shit.
so much
But
trash.
it went so viral.
Yeah.
And then like people like the first person to comment on it and defend Tristyn was Jason Derulo.
Yeah.
Jason
Wait,
and
is he the rapper guy?
The singer,
the
rapper,
singer,
Hold on.
musician, TikToker now,
You're how old at this time?
15,
You're 15 years old.
Yeah.
You're training, what, at a Good Life somewhere?
lifetime.
A Lifetime.
Well, that was from my
that
high school gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in your high school gym. You're
Yeah.
curling how much?
5 pounds.
Actually, 5 pounds.
Legitimately 5-pound
Like
dumbbells.
the little plastic
How
ones.
much did you weigh?
Probably 110 pounds.
And you're just dumb shredded, right? I'm assuming you
I
were
was
just
pretty lean.
that was
Okay.
the freaky part is you
Yeah.
could see your veins on your arms and
Yeah.
he was literally just squeezing the shit out
Yeah.
of the dumbbells.
okay. So people just started, trashing you.
Yeah,
online.
just lighting me up in the comments. I wasn't really aware of it. I was just like, whatever.
And then enter stage right, Jason Derulo.
Yeah, no,
How
it's the
confused
comment
were
section.
you?
Yeah, I was confused because this was the time when, like, on Instagram, you'd have these platforms, these pages that would repost clips, and these pages were a lot bigger, so they just basically repost other people's content and say this person's doing this thing, and they would go crazy viral. They have like 2-3 million followers, and they'd be pulling millions of views on these videos. That since kind of died down, and more personal platforms started to build and more personal content. But we kind of came in a perfect time. So it wasn't even on my post that he actually commented, was it? I think it was on someone else's
really?
post, like another one of those viral pages.
Like one of the gym pages.
And he
that
had
had, like, 10
commented
million.
like, guys, you don't understand how hard it is or whatever. It's about the feel or something like that. And
At that
and
time,
so,
we did think like we used to be so much about like just it's all about the squeeze. It doesn't matter how much weight you're lifting. Then as we went along, we're just like we realized, oh, you got to lift heavier weight. To
I mean,
get
you think
bigger.
that was
Like,
well, you do
necessary
have
at the
to
beginning though,
progress.
because we didn't have the connection. You have to build the connection first with your training, right? With feeling each individual muscle, and then from there you just perfectly execute every movement as possible.
well, put it into proportions. Let's do some math here. If I was 110 pounds and it's a 5-pound dumbbell, it's basically like a 220-pound person lifting a 10-pound dumbbell. So
yeah.
still nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
how did you see like? I mean, you're what you said 13 at that point, 14.
15.
You're 15.
Yeah.
How is it? How has it changed? It being like the fucking
Social
social
media?
media machine. Like, how have you seen it change? Because I feel old because I can't adapt to new platforms. Like everyone's like, oh, you should get on TikTok. I'm like, nah, TikTok should get off.
Yeah,
The
my
internet.
phone. Yeah.
But like, you guys have been able to like seemingly adapt and grow with.
That's
the
what was
introduction
kind
of
of
new
good with
platforms.
us. Like we shifted pretty much right away after a year of Instagram content. We jumped right onto YouTube and have steadily grown our YouTube channel at the same time, so that we're able to develop like some sort of long form connection with our audience and not just short form like 1 minute, 30-second videos or whatever it is on
To
Instagram.
be fair, your YouTube was like just sitting there for a whole year.
Yeah.
So and then it was just like we had a few videos that were going at like several million, and we weren't even monetized at that point because
No.
I don't know if you remember this, but you know like Jake Paul and Logan Paul.
I've
And do you
been
remember
made aware
there
of
was
them.
like the
Suicide
Japanese
forest.
suicide forest
Yep.
incident? So right when he started was right when that happened. So that was like was that Adpocalypse?
Yeah.
So basically, the monetization process on YouTube was
Took
slow.
me 9 months to get monetized, and I had my first 4 videos were over 1 million views already, and they just blown up, and I was already at, I think the thing was like you're supposed to get 1,000 subscribers or 10,000
monetized.
views or whatever to get monetized, right? And it would make sense for that to take a little bit of a process, but it ended up taking like 9 or 10 months, and even at that point, the monetization was still low because advertisers were being super cautious with who they're putting their advertisements on. So it was kind of difficult at that point. But the biggest shift in content has probably been to like really short form content with TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. Because
what's
Instagram
funny?
started doing reels, YouTube started doing shorts, and TikTok's obviously 15-second videos or
You know what's
whatever.
funny? Every time he told me the other day, he's like, "Yeah, I don't even go on TikTok because some of those TikToks have like 14 million, and then they get like he'll just post a random one of like some glute shot or something like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and then he'll get like 15 million, and then he'll delete TikTok off his phone, just leave it there
Because
for like a
my
month,
phone
and
storage
then-
fills up really fast because we take a shitload of videos, and they're like, and so literally it got to the point where I didn't have enough storage to fit TikTok on my phone, so I just download it, post it, and then like delete it right after
then
because
go-
I'm like, not enough space on my phone
What do you prioritize?
for content.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, Instagram and YouTube, there's a fine balance between it. My Instagram's linked to my Facebook, so all my like photos and stuff just post on there, which is crazy because I didn't even know you could do that. So in the past 4 months, I hit 1 million on Facebook, just from like the reposting of content.
I
And
didn't
then
even know like Facebook is who was it that told us that? Oh, it was Cali Muscle and
Big Boy,
Big Boy.
Yeah. I know, big boy.
Like
he's a powerlifter, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I
more your
met, I
realm.
met Cali Muscle, but it's, oh
Yeah.
man.
That's more your realm.
yeah, it was them. Like they were telling us like, yeah, you can rake in insane amount of like ad revenue is you have to get way more views, but for some reason Facebook pushes your videos.
There's
like,
certain if you get
crazy,
into the
like-
algorithm on Facebook, it's ridiculous. It's just crazy. But I don't even know if I'm in that because I just post photos and stuff. But yeah, so I would say we focus a lot just on Instagram and YouTube, and then we've pretty much done everything ourselves as far as editing videos, shooting the content, and haven't distributed it to like anybody else as far as videographers or producers and stuff. And we've just steadily built those alongside each other.
What was the first conversation that you guys had that you were like, because, okay, I'm your high school guidance counselor.
Yeah.
What do you want to do when you grow up? Like you're
I played soccer,
15
right?
years
So
old.
that was my initial passion was soccer, football, a few European,
Yeah.
whatever. I played that, so that was always my goal. I was like, I'm gonna be a pro soccer player, and just until the beginning of last year, before the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, fuck this. I love bodybuilding, I love training, and that's like what I genuinely love to do. I'd have sessions. Because I moved to Spain by myself for 4 months at the beginning of, what was it, 2018, 2019?
Something like that.
2019.
2019, and I was playing there, and I'd have 2 sessions a day. One in the morning, that's a 2-hour fitness and conditioning session, and then I have a field session later at night. That's a 2-hour field session, whether that's a game or a scrimmage or whatever. And then in between, I'd find myself going to this local gym where I don't know any Spanish. I can't speak a single word of Spanish. I got some guy at the front desk that's trying to translate and understand what the fuck I'm saying, just so I can get in the gym and do some more 5-pound dumbbell curls. So I was always finding time to go to the gym. That was like my passion. So it kind of drove me away, I guess, from the like goal of I need to be on that pro soccer team, and then put me towards the goal of I need to just continue along this bodybuilding route.
Well, what about you?
Like what was
Like, yeah, because you guys are this collective enterprise,
Yeah.
right? But like when you were growing up, this wasn't really a job that you could have.
No.
Yeah,
Like if you were sitting in a high school guidance counselor office at 16, what would you have told it? What did you want to do other than this?
I wanted to be a athletic therapist at
Okay.
first, and then I kind of got I had a whole bunch of this is a little bit personal, but I had like a eating disorder at first when I was young, when I was like 15, like his age. And so that got me like doing lots of running and walking every single day, almost to a little bit of an obsessive level. And then, I mean, at the time I was doing rugby and stuff, and that's where I kind of got out of that eating disorder, because I realized, hey, if I'm playing rugby, I can do way better if I can eat more food. And so then I started like, squatting a lot and, like, strength training and stuff. And then, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. All I know is like, and then I kind of got away from the athletic therapist stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of interested in economics and stuff. So I went to, I applied for that at University of Ottawa, and I didn't end up doing. I ended up doing something called like public administration or some bullshit like that, and it was the biggest waste of time ever. Like
Other
than
than social stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like I remember going away and just hating. Like I love the environment. University was great, but like hating my classes and stuff. We'd be messaging each other stuff regarding bodybuilding and everything all day.
Articles,
I'd be sitting
nutrition,
in class.
all that stuff.
I remember going to exams, and then I'd have 2 exams like an hour apart, and I'd find a way to fit in a small lifting session in between, and then go back to the next exam and stuff like that. So my focus was always just like, lifting, because it was a big stress outlet. But yeah, I don't know. I just love lifting. That's what I love doing.
You
But
know it's coming.
I was bodybuilding. That was my thing. Like when you said 16. If you're in,
Yeah, like if you're in high school and like you got to pick your electives for the 11th grade, do you want to take the AP chemistry or whatever the fuck? Like I'm going to go to university, I'm going to take this, or I'm going to be an electrician. Like what did you want to do?
I took the courses that I wanted to, like there was the least likelihood of me hating it. So I just took I took kinesiology, I took like leadership, I took whatever I could to get through. But I was like, I had an injury when I was 15, and then when I was 16, I basically was just like, I'm just gonna get out of school as fast as I can. And I told my parents I'm gonna take a gap year after, and I'm like, I don't care, I'm gonna pursue bodybuilding, because I fell in love with it. Because after my injury, I broke my leg and
His femur.
yeah, my femur, and
Skiing.
I slightly tore my ACL and got I played rugby too, so I got 3 concussions in the span of 6 months. But after that, I was like, I need to learn how my body functions to recover from this and actually be able to do what I love again. So from there, I fell in love with bodybuilding, and I was like, I don't care, I'm gonna find a way to.
it was a rehabbing process, right?
Yeah, the rehab process. But I was like, I'm gonna find a way to move to LA, be a personal trainer if I have to. I don't care. I'm not staying here.
What was the first was it a video? Was it like a number of followers where you guys all, and maybe this never happened, but sat down and went, hey guys, what the fuck? Like we could actually just do whatever this is. Was there a conversation that you guys remember where
No,
you're
I think
That
we
was in
kind
my
of just
3rd year. I remember sitting at my house in Ottawa, and I was like, fuck this, I hate this so much. And then at that point your video had blown up and stuff, and there were some sponsors and stuff. I'm like, okay, I might as well go help him do the videography stuff because we didn't realize how much money you could actually make off of just this stuff. And then
YouTube
content and then
sponsorships.
sponsorships on top of that as well. So that kind of like, that's what started the whole thing. But
there was no one
Yeah.
one point, I don't think. I think we collectively, the first trip to LA was probably the biggest jump we made. We literally went to LA and we're like, we're gonna go into Gold's Gym, we're gonna go into Zoo Culture, we're gonna go lift, right? That's what we didn't even bring a camera. I don't even think the first few days. We're just gonna go train. Brad, first day, met him, told us to come do his podcast. Then we started connecting with all these influencers and stuff, and that kind of catapulted like the social platform. But the whole time we're just like, okay, we're just gonna go and train, and then whatever comes to us comes to us. It wasn't about let's create this content. It's like let's do what we love to do. And
from
then
a
film.
perspective of like the bodybuilding world, we just like we reached out to coaches that we knew down in LA, and like for example, Psycho Fitness.
Yeah.
So from there, he was at the time training Sean Roden and Stanimal and those guys down for the Olympia. So he introduced us to them after we trained with him, and then from there we started connecting with the bodybuilding world. And did Jeremy reach out to you?
I can't remember Jeremy Buendia.
Yeah.
Yeah, we trained with him the first trip, and it was just crazy. All these guys we're just linking up with and just training and learning from. Charles Glass, Chris Cormier, all these different coaches that we just wanted to genuinely learn from, right? Like we're just trying to improve our training and stuff. And then these guys are just filming content along the way, helping me grow that platform through that. And it kind of just took off from that.
Have you guys had like a moment to sit back and be like, what the fuck?
It's kind of tough because we're all just keep trying to drive forward. So
Right.
it's kind of tough to put things into perspective. But when we think about like the past 3 years, 4 years, or even in this past 2 years during this pandemic, how much progress we've made is pretty insane.
Yeah, like literally all our resources we just put entirely back into the platform, like traveling to continue doing, like growing the platform and making the content and stuff. And it's really just like using the resources to fund what we love to do, which is just training. Like that's like,
I think it's also like we just love meeting people in general. So like when we go to do these collaborations and stuff, there's a lot of times where before we went in to meet the person, we're like, if they don't want to film, that's fine. We'll just like we'll shoot the
Chat.
shit. We'll
Yeah.
train.
Hang
We'll
out, learn,
build a
from them.
relationship because like it's just fun for us to get to know people for who they are.
yeah.
Is it difficult when it's the opposite of that? Like, is it difficult to walk into a room with someone who like immediately has the camera out?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like,
I mean, you notice it though right away. You can see it's just like when you're talking about when you go into a gym and you see someone who's vlogging, what's going on, guys? Like all that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like it's like really hype, intense for the camera, and it's like that's fine. There's some people that do that for that, like to be an entertainer, to be a YouTuber, or whatever that may be. But for us, we're just like we want to go in and just film and document what we're doing. We don't want to put on this fake persona for the camera. So sometimes it's tough to step away from that. Like I don't always want to be filmed. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just want to go in and train. So when you meet someone and you see that it's clearly based off of just like they just want the content, it's like it's kind of shitty, you know?
You can tell because
Yeah.
they're basically like, as soon as you're done the video, they're just kind of like, okay, see you later.
Dap you up, just dap you up. Just
Yeah.
what's good, man? Thanks. Appreciate filming the video.
Yeah.
See you later.
Especially
you
since you're
you guys
young.
have had that. Like,
Yeah.
clearly, like
Mm.
you've run into that a
Yeah,
lot.
but we don't take it personally. Like we understand it's a business. It's a business, right?
Right.
Like it's not like.
And then to be fair, there is a lot of just good people, solid people. Like even though, for example, Brad is like one of the biggest fitness influencers there is, Bradley Martin. And he, of course, like we shoot content, we film content. We understand that the content that we shoot is going to do fairly well because it is a collaboration based thing, but he'll still take the time to have conversations with us outside of that. It's not just the content. When the content's on, the content's on, but you still take the time afterwards to respect the person or talk with the person.
Is it tough doing it with people who see it more from the business side, who maybe don't share the same passion with training? Like that would always irk me, is like people who strictly just do it for the gram.
You see that with a lot of young kids, right? That's why it's like the fitness industry versus the bodybuilding world or the powerlifting world. It's the fitness industry specifically, those kids that go on social media not with the idea of I want to be the best bodybuilder I can be and I'm going to focus on improving my training, my nutrition, and whatever is going to help my athletic performance. Instead, they're like, I want to get this Gymshark sponsorship, or I want to get this brand deal, or I want to get this certain number of followers, or whatever it may be. and be like this person. You know,
How do you guys toe the line between that? Because like just purely based off of your age, I feel like that's the demographic that you guys would pull, or like at least like your contemporaries in the space.
I don't think we hang around those people much. Like,
I mean, we do.
But
We
I mean,
do.
you guys got to be a target though, right? Like you guys have to be like, people must be reaching out to you constantly. Like, do you vet people that come
Well,
in
that's
like,
what's-
this guy's fucking about the gram? Like, nah, this is gonna be shit training session.
I mean,
we
that's-
only go and film with the people we want to go and film with. It's never like if we don't feel led to as a collective. And I guess these are conversations we have more so around this stuff. Is like, do we respect what the person does as like a content creator, or is it just to do it for the views? Like we're never like do it for the views. We're always trying to learn something from the person that we're connecting with, or like build a relationship with them.
Where do you see it going?
As far as our content
Well,
goes,
like whether
Like,
it's
what's
on
the
a
end game?
platform. I mean, is there an end game if you're just documenting your training? Like,
I mean, that's the difficult part, I guess. You got to find something that you're genuinely passionate about, because if it was like just about one specific goal, then it'd be really tough. But we enjoy the process of continuing to build our training and stuff. So that's what I've been working on personally, is finding something like just outside of just go in the gym and train, you know?
but like platform wise,
Mhm.
like, do you guys, YouTube obviously does well.
Yeah.
Like, you seem to be able to go into Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and be able to like have
Yeah.
an influence across these platforms. Are you keeping an eye out for like
New
different
platforms.
platforms?
Not too much. I mean, we're aware of it. We're aware of what's growing. For example, with TikTok and stuff, we'll throw stuff on there because we know it's going to be effective, and just we might as well repurpose content.
Well,
But
we talked
YouTube's
about
always been
this.
the main
We
focus.
talked, yeah, like Instagram and YouTube are probably the biggest focus. It's like, because if we spread ourselves too thin, like you're just gonna be kind of mediocre at everything. You know what I mean? Like, or we could put all our time and effort into Instagram and YouTube, and then like even with the addition of TikTok and Facebook, we're just kind of like, we
If
haven't
they
really
grow, they
figured
grow.
it out, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I think it's the same thing as what we do for content, which is like we're only going to use, like, we're going to put as much effort as possible into the things we like ourselves. So like when we watch other people, we don't do it a lot right now, but like when we watch other people on social media platforms, whichever ones we enjoy watching and engaging with the most, we're going to use those to our advantage the most.
yeah.
YouTube's the most fun, man. I love YouTube.
What is it about YouTube
I
that
just
you find so
just
unique?
probably because I started it so young, I saw the opportunities that it gave me to meet other people. I think that's what it was mostly about, was that like being on YouTube, it gave me the opportunity to expand and grow like my like network and actually meet certain people. For example, you reached out to me on Instagram, right? And I follow you on like social media before or whatever. Saw your content on through social media and stuff. So it gives me the opportunity to go and learn from these people, even if I'm not face to face with them. So I think I just saw that in my YouTube channel, my YouTube content. So I love just continuing to grow that. Plus, numbers give you that dopamine hit. You
But
just
what about
love it.
like, because you guys do a lot in working in the business,
Mhm.
right? Like day to day, you guys fucking every single day.
Mhm.
I think what first caught my attention about you guys was how early you guys woke up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I wake up really fucking to the point where people just think I'm up from the night before.
Yeah.
It's like, is he awake at 3 a.m. because he hasn't gone to sleep, or has he gone to sleep and since woke up?
That was in school.
me.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I
all
mean,
of us,
yeah,
yeah,
go
so
ahead.
go ahead.
I mean, it started when we were all in school because we had to get up early to go to the gym. And this is what we were talking about. This is before social media. We had to get up early to go to the gym. I couldn't go to the gym after school because I had soccer, and then I had my schoolwork, whatever schoolwork I had to get done. And then these guys, same thing. You guys have whatever work you're
And
doing. So
rugby,
we're up.
track.
We're up at 4 o'clock in the morning at Lifetime Athletic by ourselves with like 3 other people in the gym, and we all just know each other. And we're going in and just to train, just to build our performance. So we've always been early risers. I don't think Tyler's probably the least early rising out of all of us, but
That's
he's,
I'm
He's the
sorry.
most
I'm
body-
sorry.
but
I'm
he's
like
still-
5 to
he's
6
the
a.m.
most,
instead
bro.
of
but he
4
still
a.m.
gets up. He still gets up just early enough. But yeah, I love that time in the morning. That's probably when I'm most productive. You know.
Same. But working in the business and working on the business, is that becoming difficult? Because you guys film. I don't do this, and I have way more time than you guys.
Yeah.
The thought of me having like Killian pick up a camera and then put it down and then me pick it. No, fuck that. Yo, Eddie, come in here, film this shit.
Well-
What about working on the business?
Like, so are you talking about like the actual social media platform, or like businesses attached to the
Business
social-
is attached to it.
Oh.
Oh, okay. So like, I mean, one thing we're starting is our supplement company, and we didn't even realize how much of a like like how much legal shit you have to make sure you're.
If you're trying to
covering
do it
before.
right,
Yeah.
there's so many people that just throw their face on a brand and just accept it as it is. So many loopholes, all this bullshit in the industry, especially with supplements. It's so specific, but there's so many things that we've basically been like, no, we can't do this because we can't compromise on that. So having the three of us together work on the brand, it's like this person can delegate to this task. And there's times when we're just like, holy shit, we have so much work. How are we going to get all this done?
Well,
Because
we did notice that because like the supplement company, like we sometimes we spend so much time on it now, and people don't see that because it's just like you're laying the groundwork for it, and then like it's taking away from the YouTube. Like we used to post maybe like twice a week, but now you know we could be stressing about like
once a week.
like the manufacturers
Yeah.
or and stuff like that, and just like getting everything, all the pieces to come together and everything, and it's just
Your sleep suffering, your training
Yeah.
suffering, like all this stuff.
so
So
the one thing we were considering was doing what you do, which is basically hire to bring someone on, and then that way we can all three of us can be part of the content more, and we don't deal with that like, oh fuck this, I don't want to keep switching the camera back and forth between sets and everything, because that's where the arguing comes the most, is like with that shit.
especially because the training is a way to kind of break away from whatever stressors we have outside of training. Like that's what we love to do as therapy. So when we have a lot of stress from business, it's like, oh, okay, well, I got my business work done. Now I just get to go train. Well, no, you got to pick up a fucking camera and vlog like this. Hey, what's going on, guys? Put on whatever bullshit persona you want to put on. So
And you've had a shitload of companies like approach you, whether it's supplements, clothing, just food, and we just said no a lot of times because
Yeah.
we'd rather do like our own thing eventually. And then like I see a lot of people like they tie themselves to a certain brand, and then people forever know them
As that brand.
And then it's just like that's it. Like
Yeah, what's odd, right? Because like sponsorships are meant to be the company sponsors you, but a lot of times the way it pans out is you
You
are
sponsor,
sponsoring the
yep.
company,
yeah.
right? Yeah, I don't know. It's for you guys. How did you land on supplements as the business? Like, because if I had to think of the biggest fucking headache that I had to give myself, I'd be like, oh, I know, I'm going to start a supplement company.
Yeah, I mean we've done some training programs and stuff, and we like it, like it's good, and we've done lots of like everything we've done we put 100% into, but we're like, hey man, like how can we do what we love, which is working out, and you know obviously fund that, and something that we really take a passion in, and that it's like organic, and that was like supplements for us. Like every morning we get up and we look forward to taking supplements. Like
Dude, on my rest
pre-workout.
days, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't rest today because then I don't get to take pre-workout.
Actually?
Yeah. I'm
Oh
like,
my
I need
God.
that because I love pre-workout. I love pump products. I love all that shit. I don't care since day one. It's always been like a passion of mine. So developing my own supplement line, it's like a kid in a candy store getting to, or a soft serve store or whatever. You get to pick out all your toppings, throw them in, create the best possible product, and you create something that's yours. You know what I mean? And you get to experiment and taste flavors and go into manufacturers and design the labels and like all this cool shit that you get to put into your own product. And then at the end of the day, when it all comes together, you're like, holy shit, this is amazing.
But it's also like with the supplements, there's the formulation and things like that, and people go out, they'll throw a random bottle together, and they'll just sell their supplements with their name on it, right?
Mhm.
With us, we liked the branding side of things because it wasn't just about like creating, for example, apparel line or anything like that. It wasn't about creating just a product that we can sell. It's about creating something like that is us and us to like the fullest of our ability. So the branding side of things, taking every little detail into the labels, into the website, into the community that we're trying to build like long term. We saw it as something long term, not something that we could short sell like and exit and then just go and do whatever we want.
I think we switched design teams 4 times to get
Like we've been working on this for almost 2 years.
2 years since the beginning of the pandemic, before the pandemic.
And then yeah, we switched design teams like
4
we
times.
had one design team finish everything. Like they did the labels and everything. We're like, oh, it's
Nope.
shit. We
It's
don't
not
want
it.
it.
It's
not what we want, yeah. So
And
much like
we went to like we've got some of the best people in the industry to do our design and everything because we want people to look at it and be like, oh fuck, this is like the outside of the package is what demonstrates like how much thought we put into the formulation as well and shit like that. And we just wanted something that is ours and we can be proud of, not some like influencer who is approached by some big company that says, hey, like we got this product,
Can we
you
use
slap
your
name
name?
on it
Yeah.
and shit like that. We're just like, yeah, so
this is what like we wanted to build,
Do you guys fight internally over it?
all the time.
Okay,
Oh,
what are the
yeah.
biggest fights and who wins?
I mean, it depends. We're just constantly bickering over small things and just trying to come to a conclusion. I think I mean, at the end of the day, we kind of all come to a decision, but there's no real like.
I think it's mostly when one of us gets really anxious about like feeling we're not getting shit done or we're not moving this forward as well as we need to be, and then the pressure goes onto the other people as well, and they're just like, well, shit, how do we figure this out without like
that's me.
overloading the stress?
Well, I think you guys have a unique situation because there's 3 of you.
Yeah.
So it's an easy tie break. Like
Yeah.
if there was 4 Lee brothers, it'd be a fucking nightmare. 2 versus 2,
Yeah.
especially with the way you guys seem to operate, that'd
Yeah.
be fucking terrible.
But the same thing is you can't go into it with 2 people and be like, we're gonna go this way, and the other person is just like has to deal with it, because if you're not all
On board.
then you can't all back a brand, right? You can't be like,
So it does
my
slow
heart
us
isn't
down
your heart isn't
sometimes.
behind it,
Yeah.
and your heart needs to be behind it if you're gonna promote something.
Yeah, so even though we do have a tiebreaker, it's never just like, oh well, that person's opinion is just thrown in the trash, because if that were the case, then that person would be like, well, why would I want to be a part of this? You know what I mean? Like we're all trying to put our own passions, desires, and whatever we want to put into the brand, so we can't just throw the other person's shit away.
Do you have any like real major blow-ups? Like any ones where you look back like, yo, remember the time we were talking about like the colors for the logo or whatever? Or that like anything. What was the worst? Because I have business partners and I can scream at them because they can't go to my mother. If they went to my mom, I'd be like, oh fuck, I should probably not yell at these people so much.
Yeah.
But the fact that you guys all like you live under the same roof, you travel together, you guys have to make it work. You guys have like
Yeah.
a weird business survivor, big brother situation that
Yeah.
really intrigues me. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like,
I think time is a big thing for us. Like, whenever one of us isn't on time in the morning, even to go to the gym, we're just like, I lose my shit.
Look at
I
you,
lose-
dog.
yeah, I
I'm
lose
looking
my
at you,
shit.
the old
Like,
5 a.m.
I'm sorry if I'm not 15 minutes early, okay?
Who's the worst? Who's the least punctual? I fucking knew it, dog. I fucking knew it.
I haven't
Only
been
in the mornings.
No,
though.
but to be fair, he's been really good recently. Like, he's been getting up as earlier than me.
Yeah, he's
Earlier
been
than me.
improving. We've been giving him gold stars.
No, but like,
Do you ream him out though? Like if you guys are both standing at the door and he's fucking.
I
Oh,
think
we're
that's, like-
screaming. We're screaming. We're just like,
I
Actually?
think we balance each other out because like I get very fucking tense, and I
Really?
I get so like these guys always have to tell me like, dude, just chill the fuck out, because my tone gets really like
aggressive.
intense and aggressive, and I'm just like, kid, we need to get this shit done. Like, it's been sitting on here on the table for like fucking like 4 weeks, and then those guys are like, okay, relax. And Tyler's almost the opposite of
I
me,
feel
which
that.
is like he's just. I wish I could be like him sometimes, because he's just so like mellow or not mellow. He still gets shit done when he needs to get it done, but he does it in like all a calm state. Versus me, I'm like, when I'm on a roll and I'm like, okay, I got this shit done, let's go do more shit. And then those guys kind of have to be like, oh, like, let's take a step back. And
Because
just
sometimes you
assess it.
throw 1,000 things onto a platter and you get nothing done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the middle ground then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's weird. He's the youngest, but sometimes he levels all of us. He's like the mediator.
That's why I like the mornings, because I just work by myself. I work by myself a lot. So whenever I'm in the morning, it's like 3 a.m. No one else is up. I can just chill and think my own thoughts, and then come to them at 6 a.m. and then handle whatever bullshit they're yelling at each other about.
Is it weird because like you guys, you were the bodybuilder first?
Yeah.
Right. If I got that right.
He was big into strength training, I think.
Yeah, you
He
got
did
into
some
bodybuilding
Olympic lifting
first.
stuff, right?
it was Ben Pekulski that he started following at first and started doing like a lot of the.
Hypertrophy Max.
Well, that was
Yeah,
because
like,
like
yeah.
you research programs and stuff and things
Yeah.
was online.
That was
I think
all it
was the
was.
most advanced, and then from there, like when I was 17, that's when I reached out, because I was like, okay, I feel like I've tapped out all the online programs that I can find. So I reached out to like 2 different local coaches that were suggested to me, and I also reached out to Chris Cormier via email, and both the local coaches wouldn't respond. Chris did, so he was like, and I had to get my parents to sign for me too, because I was his youngest client at the time. He didn't have anyone under 18, and then he was willing to take me on. So from there, I just got to learn what
You
real
should have seen how
bodybuilding was.
devastated this guy was. We went to LA the first time. How old were you then? 16 or 17?
I wasn't even with you guys.
Yeah, Braedon wasn't even with us
How
at this
old were
point.
you? If
I was
he's-
14, right?
Jeez
So I'm not even into
Christ.
bodybuilding that. Like, I was training still, but it was more for athletic performance for soccer and stuff, and just starting to get into it. We go to Gold's Gym, and we're like, okay, we're going to go to Gold's Gym. This is the mecca of bodybuilding. We're going to see Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're going to see Chris Cormier. We're going to see all these guys training here. We get to the gym, and they're like, yeah, sorry, you need to be 18 Tyler's in the back of the car, literally moaning. He's like leaning against the side of the door, and my parents are just in the front seat, just listening to him. Like, he's so devastated to the absolute max. And he's like, "Fine, I'm going to get sushi." That was like the one thing, right? The one sushi spot. And it was just absolute devastation for him. So it was hilarious though, because then a few years later we go in and we find out after we actually met up with Chris Cormier, he was able to get us in, right? Or
No, but it was Chris Lewis.
first?
So Psycho Fitness, when we went down that first LA trip that we talked about in 2018. When we went down, I was 17 still, I think. And Tristyn was like 15 or whatever, and they still wouldn't let us in.
Yeah.
No parents could sign, nothing, no guardian, nothing. So we had to reach out to Chris Lewis over Instagram. He's like, "I'll get you guys in." Pull up, and he's like, "Come on in." It's like,
yeah, as long as you're with a personal trainer there, basically they're like, "Yeah, come on in."
And now it's like, when's the last time you guys paid a drop-in fee at a gym?
Oh, we
always do. Yeah. We always do.
Really? I would imagine like you would walk in and be like, "Oh, it's this guy."
Well, I know I hate it when people go in and they're just like, "Oh, like I'm this person," and then they're just like usually we offer, and a lot of times like the owner or whatever be like, "Oh no, don't worry about it," but then like we always.
You're taking up a space in the gym, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
no
at the end of the day, they're running a business. They still have to
And we see that here a lot, right? Now that this is becoming like the Canadian Mecca. Like, you open that door, I just sometimes I sit in that chair and just look down the hallway.
Yeah.
And just see people try and like plead their case for why they don't need it. It's like, dude, there's.
You hear stories about guys going to the gym. "I have 5,000 followers on Instagram. Have you seen my TikTok?" Or is it just like stuff like that? Right? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Wait,
it's
actually,
crazy.
people will go into Zoo and do that.
Yeah.
He's like, some guy was like, "Oh, I got 80,000 on Instagram or something." He's like, "Dude,
no one cares.
I don't know you.
No one cares,
I don't know you." And it's not even like even top level guys still pay to like come to this gym or whatever. So it
doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Was it weird for you guys when his channel started taking off?
It's so weird because when we first started, we started watching like Callum Von Moger and then Brad, and then we just saw him as like this figure, and then meeting him in person. Like, when did he really blow up? Because I always remember him being over 1 million or whatever.
No, I meant him.
Oh, he meant me.
Him. Is it weird for you guys to like, because you got into bodybuilding, you were like, chasing out Chris Moore, going to LA, and then it was weird to see like your little brother just be like, "Yo, the 5-pound dumbbell." Like, you knew this kid when he was in fucking diapers, and all of a sudden it's like now he's. Is it strange for you guys to? Because you see him in a different light, right? Like, you see him as your little brother, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But other people are like in a gym setting, if they don't know you two guys, like, is it weird to be like, "No, I fucking had this guy in a headlock. Like, yo, fuck this guy."
I don't think so, because like over the last 3 years, we've done literally every day. We've done it together.
Yeah.
So it's not like all of a sudden he blew up and we weren't a part of it or anything like that. It's like, no, we were there the entire time, and we were there to support him in a certain sense, because it's like
this platform is also allowing us to do what we want to do, which is like, I don't really give a shit about we don't really give a shit about the social media. None of us really have ever really a lot, and so we just love training. So, and this platform is something we can work towards that allows us to continue.
Yeah, I don't think people understand these two are just as much of the platform. Like, they make up the platform as much as I do, even though my name's associated with it. Every single step along the way has been them creating it and developing and us working together. It's never been, "Oh, let's go build Tristyn's platform." It's like, let's build this collective platform so that we're able to continue and do the things we love to do. Braedon's always filming. Tyler's always working and filming, editing, all this shit. Like, we're always looking to progress as a team. It's not one person and then the other two,
Does it suck to be you? Like, not suck to be you, like, but in the sense of like, if I got to pick someone in this group to be, I want to sit on this side because I don't want to be bothered while I'm training.
Yeah.
So, like, is it hard sometimes? Because when you guys, 3 of you, walk into a gym, you're just gonna be like, "Deuces, I'm gonna throw my hood up. I'm gonna be over here." Where it's like you can't get away with it, as much.
I mean, there's some times where I'm feeling like I just need to go in and train and do what I need to do, but I'll never turn down someone that's wanting to. Like, I have so much respect for all the people that, because even us, when we think about it, like, I never want to bother anyone or anything like that. So when people come up to me and say they genuinely love my videos or genuinely support my channel or whatever it may be, I'll never turn down someone for that, and I always appreciate it. But obviously, yeah, there are some times where I do just want to lock in and focus. I deal with my own shit as far as like, whether it's like body image stuff or whatever it may be. So sometimes you do just want to go in and focus on your training and just just do what you love to do. But I don't think there's really a time where I'm ever like, fuck this. I don't want to do this. Like, just because someone's coming up to me or approaching me.
You
Now-
sacrifice a lot for as far as like putting yourself out there, getting like hate, like especially at the beginning, it was really bad, right?
So I think
And
like
just for doing like what you love to do. Like
Yeah.
people think you got into this whole industry, or any of us got into this whole industry to get the clout and the fame, but he got in this industry literally to just work out. Like he just loves working out, and he was documenting it, and then people will shit on you for doing that. Like it's
very early on though, like the first year, like when it was really bad, because that was when all the nasty stuff was going on for the most part.
Give me some examples.
I mean, there was people out there that just they'll shit on anything, right? The first thing was like obviously like this young kid lifting weights, he could get injured, whatever. He shouldn't be
And
that
then people
lean.
attack you personally, like for like whether okay, obviously I'm short, so that's one thing. Then they see this kid who looks super young, like I looked like I was like 11 or 12. They're shitting on you and being like, oh well, like this kid, he's not even big or whatever it is, and like all this stuff. And then they'll attack like your parents. Oh, what are the parents doing, letting their kid go into the gym this early and train like this or eat like this or whatever bullshit it is?
we had to leave Lifetime because some guy physically was threatened to like what do you say, like I'm gonna kill you,
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Whoa,
It's
hey
crazy.
now,
Yeah.
what?
16-year-old kid.
Yeah, he's crazy. That
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just absolutely insane, man.
Okay, you'd have to be.
Just for
Yeah,
for filming, like we're literally shooting a video in the corner of ourselves, and this was at a point where we're not even having a full on camera. We have like an iPhone 5 just taking a photo in the corner,
It's an issue
and
for
it's like
everybody,
it's all this stuff. So it's pretty crazy, but I mean, it is what it is. It's just social media. So
I think
never,
that's part of the first few years. I think that's part of the reason why we literally couldn't fight as much as most people, like most family members could, because we're like, we got to deal with this shit. We can't deal with like us. We got to deal with this shit
Fending
first.
off
Yeah.
everyone else.
find unity in other people's bullshit.
That's fucking crazy, man. Go.
Well,
you
some
got
some
something.
people think you take it so. It's so funny when people come up to us and they're just like, "Dude, guys, don't worry, man. Like, ignore the haters.
Yeah.
Like,
Keep
especially
going.
like big influencers
Yeah.
will come up to us like, keep going, man. Like, that's the most insulting thing ever. Just being like, fuck you, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, like
I
I've
was
literally never cared. That's the best part of this. I love looking in the comment section and seeing all this funny shit and being like, look how mad this person is getting about me lifting a 5-pound dumbbell.
Sometimes we
Isn't
just want
that
to go on
crazy?
his on his Instagram DMs and just post them like on his Instagram stories, just
Yeah.
showing what people send him. They'll be like, fuck you, you piece of shit, you fucking
Yeah.
I don't even know you. And then Tristan will be like, hey man, how's it going? They'll be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm
Yeah,
so
it's
sorry."
hilarious.
Actually.
Yeah.
Oh man, have you ever, outside of like a psycho person in Lifetime Fitness, have you ever had any like confrontation or hate face to face? Because like, you know, the YouTube comment section is the worst place in the world.
Well, everybody can sit behind their keyboard
Right.
and talk shit.
Do you remember that there was one guy, it was like the only guy he's ever blocked ever. Like Tristan doesn't block anyone.
I don't
Like,
give a shit.
he doesn't give
Increased
a shit.
engagement, more comments.
Right.
But
Like,
it was just like the worst thing I've ever seen in my
Weird
life. It was
stuff, too.
it was weird stuff. And then we met him at an expo, and then we realized afterwards, after we took a
his
photo
friend
with
came
him,
up to me. He didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
he took a photo with you.
Yeah, he took a photo with me, but he didn't say anything. His friend just came out to me, asked me for a photo, said what's up, said like I watch all your content or whatever. Other guy
Yeah.
just basically didn't say anything the whole time I was talking to him, and then just kind of put his phone up to take a photo. I was like, all right, whatever. It seemed kind of weird. It's kind of whatever. And then I get a DM the next day, and I'm like,
I thought he just tagged you
or yeah,
He
he
just tagged
tagged
you.
me or something.
in a photo.
In a
Like,
photo.
of the photo of them together at the expo, and he's like, I'm so like a few years ago, I shit on this kid so much, and I really looked down on him, and like, but I met him, and he's like the most humble kid, and he's like he was really nice, and like
And I don't hold anything against the kid, but it's just like really crazy how like the messages I got from this kid were borderline psychotic,
Yeah.
like borderline. And it's crazy the extent that people will go to over social media, and then as soon as you meet them in person, as soon as you have a face-to-face conversation with them, they're silent, or they want to get a photo, or they're nice to you, or they post a photo with you, and it's like, where was all this at the beginning?
I think it's just because people just, especially like when you weren't saying anything in the first place, like you said, you didn't say anything on your YouTube. They just see you as like this entity and
It's
not,
face,
not
yeah.
a real person. You know what I mean? And then they meet you in person, and then they're just like, "Oh, like you're a real person." Like
We
you're
realized
not
that with the
the-
biggest, like whoever we meet with all these guys, like so many kids idolize them, and it's like you meet them in person, and they're just people. At the end of the day, they're just people. So you meet these big celebrities, and then you meet them in person, and you're like, oh, they're just normal as well.
Who was that for you guys?
Jason Derulo was really just.
So wait, you met him in person?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
trained
we
with
trained.
him.
There's a video.
Shut
We
the
shot a
fuck
video.
up.
That's a pure example because he got ripped apart in our comment section just for it was an
Can you
incline.
pull that up? Can you
It was
search
an
that?
incline. Okay, yeah. Search up Tristyn Lee, Jason Derulo. First of all,
Tristyn.
yeah, this guy just ripped his shoulder in half basically in a
He
car
separated
accident,
his
right?
shoulder or something, or like he
Something like
I
that.
think he
Dislocated.
tore something too.
Yeah,
but
he tore it. So that's that. Yeah, click on that one.
It's
Four
just so fucking
4 million
random.
views. 4 million views, right? And because people see him as this celebrity, this face, right? They don't see him as a person, so they'll immediately go to attacking him. Meanwhile, at the beginning of the video, he literally said his range
it doesn't matter.
his range of motion is just obviously less because he can't go deep if you have an injured shoulder. So, what do you want to watch the video or do you want to see the comments?
A little bit of both because I haven't. I don't think I've laid
Okay,
eyes on
skip
this
ahead
guy
a little
since
bit, skip
high
ahead.
school.
Go to the incline barbell bench
So-
press.
All right, so he's like he works out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's pretty jacked.
Super nice guy too. Like super.
So
Okay,
and
here you go,
all
here,
of
watch this, watch this.
Stems from the fact that he backed you up on this page.
This guy
no,
hit
no,
me
no,
up
no.
2 years ago, and then what? Did I reach out to him or did he
No,
reached out to me,
Gina.
right? Oh, Gina, this
So-
the soft tissue girl that is like works on all the top like bodybuilders and stuff. So yeah,
he's
Alright,
doing
he's
an
getting-
incline. He's
right.
doing an incline, and people are ripping him apart for like not going, depth, like lower. But the thing is, the guy like his shoulder is destroyed, right? So, and he even clarifies that at the beginning of the video. He's like, "Yeah, I got a car accident or whatever. My shoulder is really fucked up, so I can't go that low." And so he.
But he's clearly like he's
Into
got
it.
muscle.
Yeah, he's jacked.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
jacked.
That and Lundy, just take a scroll through the comment section. Let's
Let's
go,
look-
let's go for a ride. Can you zoom in on that? I'm blind as hell.
Jason's incline bench. Wait,
Oh,
scroll up a little bit.
Jason-
Jason's incline bench looks like incline overhead press partial reps.
Man, I
There's-
don't understand. Like I
No.
think. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, there's some positive comments.
Where's Jason half rep Derulo?
Yeah, keep scrolling down. These aren't even.
I think it was worse before, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too, is we never filter comments.
There's
Like, we
6.2
never,
thousand
like,
likes.
delete or
Jason.
anything.
Have you ever thought about doing it?
I mean, there's been times where I said to Tristyn, I'm like, hey, do you want me or Tyler? Because sometimes he just doesn't. He's like, I can't deal with that. Like, I don't want to look at the comments. And so I said, do you want me and Tyler to go through and like kind of be a moderator for your comments? And then he's just like, no, fuck it. I don't want people to like. What it is what it is, essentially. Like, I don't want it to be
Well, yeah, what's the
filtered.
point of monitoring it?
And as you've progressed, do you feel like you've been able to curate a following that has a higher concentration of positivity?
Still a
than
lot of
negative?
bullshit.
Really?
Yeah,
I think
but I
it's-
mean, at the end of the day, like it's crazy because you see all this stuff in the comments, but then it's like you were talking about. Like I follow, for example, I followed one of our designers one of our designers on Instagram, and they're getting follows and messages from people because people are going into the people that I'm following and messaging them and being like, "Oh, you know Tristyn," or what, trying to get connected with me, and it's like. You realize that obviously the negativity is going to shine through in the comment section. Only the negative people go out of their way. It's always going to be a majority of negative comments that come out. The positive people just are there.
Right.
They like the video. They
silent
watch
majority.
the video.
Yeah.
They send you a message every once in a while. But then when you go to expos and stuff and you meet these people, it's pretty insane. Like the fan base that you're able to cultivate.
Wild. This is blowing my mind
Mhm.
right now. Do you
Jason's
have-
a cool dude, though.
do
Jason's
you,
a cool dude.
do you have any other people outside of like conventional fitness that you've trained with that you're like, oh,
Faze and Nelk.
Oh yeah, Nelk Boys. Have you heard of them? Canadian
I'm
YouTubers.
so fucking
Okay.
old. Lundo, do me a favor here. Who?
You don't
Who?
see your producer knows Nelk.
Yeah, but Lundo is the center of the universe. Like he's the guy in the middle of the black hole with a flashlight.
So
He
these
knows
guys are
everything.
like taking over YouTube.
Doing
What
stuff with
The
like,
internet.
are they?
I mean, they've done stuff with like Dana White and the UFC. And
To
then,
like Donald Trump,
How
Yeah.
many subs, Lundo?
7 million.
Jesus, and they're Canadian.
Yeah, but you got to see these guys meetups. They're absolutely
But what did
They
they?
probably did the
insane.
most
They
pranks.
started on pranks.
Pranks. They own their own seltzer company now. They're absolutely ridiculous. These guys just crazy. But we met up with them in LA, and we're like, "Oh, you guys are from Whitby,
They're-
Oshawa,
Get the fuck outta
Mississauga?"
here.
We're like,
Mississauga,
"What?" We're talking about like yeah, it's just insane.
You're blowing my mind right now. So you collabed with these guys?
Yeah, we met up with them. They're
Met
they're
them
good
through
friends with
Brad.
Bradley Martin. So we met them through there. They were training at Zoo Culture and stuff, and super chill guys. Probably like probably lead or one of the main owners of it, Kyle. He's one of the realest guys I've met. He's super real.
Do you have to keep a finger on the pulse of YouTube as a culture on the whole? Like with the Jake Paul, Logan Paul, all of this stuff. Like YouTuber is a job title now. How
Yep.
much do you pay attention outside of the walls of the fitness industry?
We're not really super connected with a lot of people outside of the fitness industry just because we kind of stayed our own course and just do what we love to do. But there are people that just like randomly will connect with. So it's not necessarily like following along trends and following along what other people do. It's
There's
more
a lot
just
of
like you
TikTokers
see.
now too that you've worked out with, and
Yeah.
it's just a weird like. It's kind of weird how fitness does connect a lot of the different industries though. Like if there is one thing like a lot of people do like getting active, if not like powerlifting or
People you
bodybuilding,
never
whatever.
think about being in the gym. Yeah.
So that's why these guys are pranksters, right? And they also did a lot of like partying and things like that. But we worked out with them. That was the thing we did with them. And the same
then-
thing with Faze Clan, who's
Gaming.
top
Have you heard of them?
gaming.
No.
You into gaming? Got the
Who?
headset.
No, this is for. I'm into podcasting. Who are
This
these
is
people?
for airports. This is for.
Who is it?
It's called Faze Clan. Do you want to search them up? They're like the biggest gaming. What's the best word to describe
Biggest,
it?
largest esports organization in the world.
Sports,
It's
Rank. I'm glad
Yeah.
you spelled that wrong.
So
Marco.
they've
Shout out.
built this crazy platform.
So they're
They
big-
sponsor LeBron James' son,
Bronny.
and
Bronny.
Neymar Jr.
Neymar Jr. They work
Yeah.
with him as well.
is crazy.
A lot of basketball players, football players. They've just created this insane audience.
Just made a
Um,
DC comic with them involved in it.
Yeah, they did a Batman partnership and stuff. So this is the biggest. But we worked out with the guy right there on the left, Faze Rug in the middle. He's got 20 million subscribers.
That's wild because like you take for granted in our echo chamber that getting in shape is really hard for a lot of people,
Yeah,
right? And it's something that people look to because I don't know, video games I'm sure are difficult now. But I've
100%.
fuck Faze, whoever Faze Clan is, if he plays video games, if he plays GoldenEye, I fuck him up. But it's like, I'd be closer as odd job versus Boris
So-
than he would be to me on an
yeah.
incline
This is
depth
like the
that.
top gaming clan or gaming
Group.
academy group in the world. Academy.
Yo, he would get.
They're bringing
fucking
kids. They're bringing
ruined,
13-year-old,
dog.
12-year-old kids
Doesn't
up
matter.
from the bottom.
Doesn't matter, man.
We'll
Put
see.
it-
We'll
put-
set it up. We'll head up.
Put
We'll head
a
up, Rug.
64 controller in my hand, and it's a bodily. I'll
No.
infinite grind this guy's fucking. throat. That's yeah, because it is odd. Like it is a weird touch point for most people that
Yeah.
like I think gives fitness access to almost all realms. 'Cause
Cool.
It's like bankers to entertainers to musicians. Everyone like remember when Nelly came back? So
Oh,
Nelly
yeah.
was a hip hop artist back
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I was
yeah,
a
I
kid.
know who
I know who
I
Nelly
was
is.
like,
Four.
there for a second.
Yeah.
But it's like he came back and like he got jacked.
Yeah.
So like all walks of life seem to really struggle with walking in a gym.
What
And
was-
it's like, because you're the CEO. When you walk into a gym, like you go into a Lifetime Fitness, especially Lifetime. Lifetimes are crazy bougie.
Mhm.
But like you guys got a bicep vein, you're the CEO. Parking lots full of people with R8s and ranges and all this shit. But
Yeah.
in there, if you're in shape, you have the power.
Mhm.
So I think that's a big thing though. With like, if you're going into other industries like gaming, pranks, these guys, they're not in the best shape, right? So they walked into the gym. I think a lot of the bodybuilding community is can be very condescending or
Sure.
very like judgy at the beginning. So it's difficult
Yeah.
to meet the right people that will train them without criticism. But that's
Yeah.
the thing is like that's what they
Or
look
train them
for.
correctly. There's a lot of bullshit in the industry too, where like these guys will go and they'll try to work out. For example, one of the guys, Faze Rock, he went and he shot a video where he was training. And the first video he did was with this other group of people, and people were tearing apart their technique in the comment sections. And meanwhile, he's thinking, well, these guys are like the top of their industry. They must be like whatever it is. And it's like, well, they're still getting ripped apart in the comment section. So people are so judgmental about, especially beginners with technique and stuff. You saw it with the Jason Derulo stuff.
Yeah.
They're ripping him apart for like for essentially no reason when he's just trying to get fit and get active. So it's like it's tough. But the fitness industry is very it's very self-centered in a sense, I guess, or very egotistical because a lot of people are focused on comparing myself to another person. And I think that's where a lot of the judgment comes from, especially with young age groups like my age.
It probably comes from insecurity too. Like when people go out and they're like, oh, like even if they're completely out of the situation, they'll be like, oh, you're not as good as this person.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be
Yeah.
like
what?
that.
What? So people will comment that on your videos?
Oh yeah. Well, no, people comment on other videos. Like some people will post and be like, "Oh, well, this kid's the next whatever," and then someone will be like, "You'll never be the next this person," and I'll be like, "I didn't even say anything," and they're just like shitting on me when another person made a comment about it.
I've never left a comment on a YouTube video ever.
Yeah, that's what blows my mind, the depths of where you have to be to go and comment on another person's
Well,
YouTube
it's
video.
we talked about this a few weeks ago. The people that are commenting on this in 5 years, they're just going to be commenting on porn videos, which makes as about as much sense as about commenting about like you'll never be the next
Yeah.
Lee Priest. It's like
Yeah.
who never said that.
Mhm.
What do your parents say?
I mean, my parents initially would like my mom would come to me and be like, "Do you see this comment?" And I'm like,
oh,
I don't care. Like I don't care. I never.
You have to be like, Mom, you're not helping. Like,
She almost wants me to be offended by it because it's like obviously attacking her kid or whatever.
I would love your mom to have a burner account.
Yeah, just
Mrs.
go on,
Lee,
going back.
1783, and just starts
well,
trashing.
we know
back.
people like there's Chris Cormier when we were first starting. He would go out and he would comment back to people
defend
defending
for me.
Tristyn. He'd
But
be
like as Chris Cormier, or
yeah. No, he'd just be like, "You don't know what you're talking about. Like this kid is like doing it."
Yeah,
right.
the best is when my fan base goes and starts a thread responding back and forth. It's
Dude,
hilarious to
even on
look
mine,
at.
Like my following is not anything near yours, and my friends are telling me like they'll make a joke comment on my post saying it, like, "Oh, you're small, you don't even work out, bro," and as a joke, and then they'll get DMs saying like, "Fuck you, man, you probably don't even work out."
I'm gonna fucking after this, I'm trashing all. I'm going to all of your Instagram accounts and just gonna trash.
Just go leave one comment. Just go leave one
Actually?
comment. That's a joke. Yeah, do it.
Oh my
do it.
God,
It's
I'm
a
gonna
social
fucking do it.
experiment.
That's gonna be amazing.
comment,
I'm
be
gonna
like,
follow up with this in the next episode.
You're kind of
Just
small, bro,
trash you
or
guys.
something like that, and you'll get ripped apart no matter
Yeah.
what your qualifications
Oh,
are.
dude, I used to get it with Dan Green.
Yeah.
I was his chiropractor. I would train with him every day.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I think your form's a bit off. Fuck you, man. I'm like, dude, literally, I'm the guy handing off
Yeah.
the bench to him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the internet's a weird place to live, man.
Don't even
Internet's
click on your page before commenting back to you.
No, that seems like it takes too much work. So what are you guys coming up? You got the supplement line dropping. Give us an ETA.
So we're planning on dropping in November. What's been waiting? We're just getting all the like social stuff set up and everything. And
This
that's,
is big,
the
though.
biggest.
This
yeah.
has been like 2 years in the making. Every blood, sweat, tears, literally everything put into this, and we haven't posted a lot about it.
Is it live on socials?
No.
No, it's not. It
We've
will be
kept
soon.
everything under wraps because we wanted to come out with something that's 100% we can get behind before posting absolutely anything.
So we
about
can't
it.
even go no name, nothing like
Nothing
that.
yet right now.
All right. Okay.
Soon, really soon.
All right.
The thing
So-
is, like, we didn't want to like release it and then it just sit there for like the
Have
name
people waiting.
and sit there for like months on end. And
Yeah.
then people are
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, you guys gonna do.
I know when I go to like get something like, or someone hypes some product up to me, I'm just like, I want it now. So
Right.
I'm gonna
Like countdown 24 months.
Right.
And I'm like, what?
So November.
Yeah,
November.
November.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a big thing.
Well, guys, I appreciate you taking the time. It's
course,
cool
we
to
appreciate you
fucking
having
see
us.
the roundtable discussion. I'll be sure to bother you guys and trash you guys on Instagram real soon. So
Yeah.
do the thing. We'll put it up in the show notes. But Tristyn Lee,
Braedon.
Braedon Lee, spell yours because your Brandon's.
Yeah,
Can
mine's-
just be one
I've
name.
never heard of anyone with this spelling.
Okay.
It's like
Yeah, our parents did some weird bullshit with our names.
yeah. So it's BRAEDON.
No, it's not. Change that. Tighten that up. That's gonna be difficult.
Yeah.
Tyler, Tristyn, Braedon. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Peace.